Hello and welcome to this week's Women's Football Chat, your weekly show covering everything in the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. That's the FA Women's National League. Now, it was Cup Week last week, so there's all the determining round results to go through, but we're going to start with a bit of news that came out a few days ago, actually on the Sunday, that Crawley Wasps have parted company with their manager Dan Logue. He's left his role as first team manager, and the club wants to thank Dan for his service and wish him all the best in his future endeavours. So a managerial change already this season. Crawley Wasps, of course, haven't had the best of times so far in the season. Bottom of the Southern Premier Division, 2 losses and 2 draws from their games so far. A draw with London Bees and Bridgewater United. Heavy defeat to Milton Keynes Dons by 6-1 last weekend, and they are bottom of the table at the moment. But yes, that's the managerial change. Let's get straight down to some of the results then from the past 7 days. As I said, it's it's entirely the cup, though we've got one league game to go through, which should shorten this show a little bit because we haven't got a lot of league tables to go through. There's only one. But let's start with the cup. So this is the determining round. So don't forget, the winners of these games go into the cup, the losers go into the plate. We've had the draw for the preliminary round, but I'm going to cover that in more detail next week because those games are being played a week on Sunday. And then we'll have our 32 teams. So, determining round, AFC Bournemouth 0, Oxford United 0. Oxford United going through by 5-3 on penalty shots. AFC Fylde 1, Derby County 2. 2 goals for Anita Gaspar, giving Derby County the victory. AFC Fylde don't have their lineup on yet. The 16th and 49th minute for Anita gave Derby the 2-1 victory. Plymouth Argyle, comfortable victors over AFC St Austell by 5-1 away from home. Siobhan Johanning getting the only goal for AFC St Austell. Plymouth Argyle scoring in the 2 for Lily Greenslade, 18th minute and 21st minute. 1 for Beth Ireland in the 47th minute. 1 for Charlotte Whitmore in the 59th minute. And there should be another one in there. Oh, it was an own goal in the 23rd minute for Plymouth Argyle. And there was also a missed penalty by Lily Greenslade in the 65th minute. It would have given her hat-trick, but saved by the Austell keeper. Next, we've got Bournemouth St Michael's 2, Stoke City 4. 4 goals for Stoke City. No information about Bournemouth St Michael's yet. 4 goals for Stoke City. Cara Jones with a hat-trick and Kelsey Richardson with a goal as well. Tight game for Bridgewater United against Billericay Town. 62nd minute, Maya Kendall getting the only goal of the game for Bridgewater United. Brickhouse Town 4, Leafield Athletic 1. 2 for Jasmine Saxton, 1 for Monique Watson and Isabel Dean for Brighouse Town. Leafield Athletic just getting 1, Chloe Shirley, 11 minutes from time. Cambridge City 2, Actonians 4. Actonians were 4-0 up by half-time in this game. 2nd minute, Maria Ledsmaviso. 13th minute, Jasmine Williamson. 34th minute, Rochelle Shakes. And 39th minute, Williamson gets her second. So Actonians were 4-0 up away from home at half-time. Grace Stanley and Rebecca Stevenson getting second-half goals for Cambridge City. And both Cambridge sides are in the plate as Gillingham beat Cambridge United away from home by 5-1. Phoebe Lech in the 2nd minute getting the opening goal. Yelena Karabot in the 24th minute. Charlie Goad in the 51st and the 57th minute. And then Cara Sophia Priscilla Afu Fajor in the 88th minute, getting the 5th goal for Gillingham. There's no information about Cambridge United yet. Second page then of the 5 we're going to be going through. Cardiff City 1, Southampton Women 0. Ellie Sargent in the 19th minute getting the only goal of the game in that one to put the Welsh side into the cup. AFC Wymondham beating Cheltenham Town by 4 goals to 2. It was 2-1 at half time in this one. Eleanor Dorey in the 5th minute opening the scoring. Ashley Hinks getting 2, 21st and 54th minute for Wimbledon, plus a penalty for Ashley Hinks in the 61st minute. So a hat-trick for Hinks. 2 goals for Cheltenham, 18th minute Emma Congrave and 84th minute Maisie Collis. Chesham United against Wymondham Town was a home walkover to Chesham United. Wymondham not taking part in the cup competitions. They're not in the plate competition either. So they're just not taking part in the cups. There's only 3 preliminary round fixtures in the plate. Crawley 3, Bradford City 1. Jessica Gillin, Georgia Paynton and Ellie Cleary with the goals for Chorley. Maya Jacobs the goal for Bradford City. But a story of the substitutes there. 2 substitute goals for Chorley and a substitute goal for Bradford City. So definitely one for teams coming off the bench. Arguably one of the best results of the weekend came for Merseyrail, who beat Doncaster Rovers Bells by 2 goals to 1 to get themselves into the cup. Charlotte Cloy and Gemma Lancaster with the goals for Merseyrail. Chloe Dean with the only goal of the game for Doncaster Rovers Bells. Exeter City beat Maidenhead United by 3 goals to 1. Connie Pengelly with a brace from the 3rd minute and the 60th minute. Zoe Watkins in the 39th minute also getting a goal for Exeter City. 2-1 at half time, so the only goal of the game to Maidenhead United coming in that first half. Megan Halfracree getting their goal. Hashtag United, the convincing victors over Ashford Town. 7-0 it was in the end. A brace for Malika Apinda-Gill, a brace for Catherine Nutman, and 1 each for Hayley West, Grace Gillard and Eva Frazzoni getting the goals for hashtag 7-0. It was only 3-0 at half-time, and they just turned it on in the second half. Hounslow played their cup game. They're obviously now back in action, as we've seen. Larkhall Athletic, though, running them over by 6 goals to 1. Sky Hull, Lydia Newton, Hannah Price, Sophie Price, and 2 for Chloe Snook. The goals for Larkhall Athletic. And Hounslow's goal was, in fact, an own goal as well. In the 42nd minute. But they end up in the plate, having lost by 6 goals to 1. Huddersfield Town 2, Stourbridge 1. Good showing from Stourbridge. Obviously facing a side in the league above them. Laura Elford getting the goal for Huddersfield Town in the 17th minute. That was from the penalty spot. Then Stourbridge's Millie Rogers equalised also from the penalty spot. Looked as though it was going to go to extra time. But in the 91st minute, Kate Malling got the winner for Huddersfield Town. Burnley beat Hull City by 3 goals to 1. Millie Grace Ravening in the 28th minute for Burnley. Then in the 64th minute, doubled as scoring from the penalty spot. 69th minute, Hope Knight pulled 1 back for Hull City before Amy Kelly in the 89th minute made it 3-1 and sealed the progression into the cup. A good showing from Moneyfields despite losing in extra time to Keynsham Town. 12th minute of extra time, Vicky Vipond getting the only goal of the game. Apologies, I meant to put after extra time on the screen there, but it was after extra time. Keynsham Town got the win over Moneyfields. To Saturday, a 9-1 victory for Newcastle United away at Lincoln City in front of a big crowd at Sincil Bank, or the LNER Community Stadium, whatever it's called now. I'll probably always call it Sincil Bank. 9-1. Jessica Razoo with the only goal of the game for Lincoln City in the 44th minute. But hat-tricks for Lauren Robson and Georgia Gibson, including goals for Katie Barker and Lois Greenslade with the goals for Newcastle. And there should be another one in there that I'm just trying to search out for you. George Gibson with her 3, as I mentioned, Lois Greenslade with 1, Katie Barker with 1, and it appears that only 8 of them have been put on the system. So there's another goal in there somewhere. And then we go back to Sunday. London Seaward 2, Swindon Town 1. Let me bring that up again. So London Seaward 2, Swindon Town 1. Goals for London Seaward. They took the lead. Samantha Lanza in the 42nd minute. Equaliser for Swindon Town. Annabelle Colston just 9 minutes after coming off the bench. That was in the 69th minute. They were only level for 1 minute. Rhea Laudat putting London Seaward back in front again. Then we go to Northampton Town against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolverhampton Wanderers with a convincing 5-0 victory. Summer Holmes, Amber Hughes, 2 for Alicia Miller and 1 for Anna Morfitt, getting the goals for Wolves. Norton Stockton Ancients 2, Long Eaton United 1. Goals coming very quickly actually for Norton Stockton Ancients. 2 in the same minute. Laura Hockaday and Maddie Myers both scoring in the 10th minute in that one. Ella Brennan getting the goal for Long Eaton United. And then after extra time, Stockport County beating Peterborough United by a 1-0. Maria Figueiredo in the 10th minute of extra time, putting Stockport County through into the Cup. Moving on then, we go to Portishead Town against London Bees, a 1-0 victory for London Bees. Kayla Potter with the only goal of the game in that one. Portsmouth 4, Crawley Wasps 1. Crawley Wasps, of course, as I said earlier in the show, now without a manager. Then lost to Portsmouth by 4-1. Goals to Portsmouth, Anisha Hill, 19th minute. Jasmine Younger, 25th minute. And Sophie Quirk in the 42nd and the 45th minute. Sophie Quirk coming on as a substitute just 2 minutes in for Maya Adaway, and then being substituted herself in the 75th minute, but scored 2 goals in the process. Dana Chong, the only goal of the game for Crawley Wasps. Convincing victory for Ipswich Town against Queen's Park Rangers, 7-0. Abigail Lafayette with 2, Natasha Thomas with 2, Anna Gray, Nia Evans and Maddie Briggs all with 1. Milton Keynes Dons beating Chelsea by just 1-0. Amy McLean with the only goal in that game. And then Middlesbrough beating Sheffield by 2-1, but there's no information about Middlesbrough up on the system as of yet. Molly Waite with the only goal of the game for Sheffield in the 87th minute. Sporting Council 2, Durham Sestra 3. There's missing goals on here as well. Let's see if I can find them for you. Yes, a penalty. So Sporting Council, 59th minute, Rebecca Hall from the penalty spot. Sarah Lampitt in the 66th minute. The other goal for Sporting Council. But 2 for Durham Sestra, 49th and 55th minute for Jordan Atkinson and 1 for Poppy Pritchard in the 85th minute, giving Durham Sestra the 3-2 victory. Watford, 6-0 victors over Norwich City, convincing victory for them in the end. Ellie Head getting the 3rd minute opener. Then a hat-trick for Helen Ward, 11th, 30th and 90th minute. And in between those, Florence Fife with in the 53rd minute and Nicola Gibson in the 80th minute made it a convincing victory in the end for Watford, who were 3-0 up at half-time. Wymondham Town losing at home by 4-0 to Barnsley. 2 for Emily Pierpont and 2 for Natalie Shaw with the 4-0 victory there for Barnsley. Final page then, West Bromwich Albion 1, Liverpool Feds 5. Great result for Liverpool Feds. Although this one went to extra time. It was 1-1 after normal time. Paige Cole in the 37th minute for Liverpool Feds. Janelle Stracker, the substitute, in the second half for West Bromwich Albion. 1-1 it was at the end of 90 minutes, but it finished 5-1 to Liverpool Feds, who scored in the 8th minute of extra time with Rosie Kinvig, the 10th minute with Jennifer Rogers, the 13th minute with Paige Cole, and the 30th minute with Cole again for her hat-trick. So 5-1, 4-0 in extra time to Liverpool Feds, who obviously just had the legs over West Bromwich Albion in the end. York City against Leeds United, a 2-0 victory for York City. Nicola Brown in the 55th minute, and that's the only goal that's been put on there, but a 2-0 victory for York City. Right, Leek Town against Nottingham Forest. This was the late kickoff, 3 o'clock kickoff in this one. Forest coming out 5-0 winners. Rebecca Anderson in the 26th minute. Iris Achterhoff in the 35th minute. Made it 2-0 at half-time. Charlotte Greengrass, 67th minute after coming off the substitute bench. 5 substitutes, made all 5 substitutes in the 64th minute, did Andy Cook, the Forest manager. Charlotte Greengrass scored in the 67th minute, Gianna Mitchell in the 69th minute, and May Moncaster in the 80th minute, made it 5-0 to Forest. And Loughborough Lightning against Solihull Moors. 2 goals for Loughborough Lightning, Emily Sharp in the 14th minute, and Monique Robinson in the 77th minute. Was 2-0 to Loughborough. So those are the all the results from the determining round. As I said, I'll look at the preliminary round next week before they get in play. But there's 4 preliminary rounds in the cup and 3 preliminary games in the plate because of Wymondham Town not taking part. That means that when we lose those 4 teams, we'll have 32 teams, and then it will be a straight knockout through into the final. Right, let's have a look then at the one league game that happened this week. It happened last night, in fact. Northern Premier Division, Brighouse Town 1, Huddersfield Town 1. Both goals coming in the second half. Sophie John with the goal for Brighouse Town. Laura Elford, 68th minute for Huddersfield Town. And that was the only league game that happened in the past 7 days. What it means for the Northern table, Huddersfield Town jump a place above Derby County with their extra point. So Huddersfield Town are now in 5th on 8 points. Brighouse Town with their point jumped 2 places above Liverpool Feds and AFC Fylde. Brighouse Town are now in 8th with 5 points. Liverpool Feds 9th on 5 points. AFC Fylde 10th on 5 points. Everything else remains the same. Right then, let's have a look at all of the fixtures across the FAWNL this weekend. So, in the Northern Premier Division, AFC Fylde against Stoke City, that's 10th against 4th. Huddersfield Town take on Liverpool Feds, that's 5th against 9th. Loughborough Lightning against Boldmere St Michael's, that's the bottom 2. They're both yet to get off the mark so far this season, so one of them will be having points by the end of Sunday. West Bromwich Albion against Brighouse Town is kind of a mid-table battle, 7th against 8th. And then the top 2 go head-to-head, Wolves against Burnley, but it's at Wolves as well. They're both on 13 points at the minute, 4 points clear of Forest in 3rd, but Forest have a game in hand. So I think game of the day has got to be Wolves against Burnley, but interesting to see how Boldmere St Michael's do away at Loughborough Lightning as well. In the Southern Premier Division, Bridgewater United against Milton Keynes Dons. That is 10th against 5th. Ipswich Town face Crawley Wasps. Ipswich climbing up the table after their slow start. But Crawley Wasps, of course, at the bottom of the table, so you'd perhaps fancy Ipswich in that one. London Bees against Cheltenham Town. That's 3rd against 7th. Oxford United take on Watford. That's top of the table. Oxford against Watford, who are in 4th, but Watford have a game in hand. Plymouth Argyle against Gillingham, that is 11th against 8th, and Portsmouth take on Billericay Town, that is 2nd against 9th. Division 1 North then, Barnsley face Stockport County. Barnsley, of course, top of the table, 3 points clear of Newcastle United. So Barnsley against Stockport County, who are down in 10th. Bradford City take on Leeds, that's 11th against 4th. Chorley against York City is 9th against 7th. Durham Sestra are in 6th. They take on Middlesbrough, who are in 5th. Merseyrail, bottom of the table at the moment, take on Hull City, who are in 8th. Merseyrail, of course, will be buoyed by their victory in the Cup last weekend. And Norton Stockton Ancients against Newcastle United, 3rd against 2nd. A great fixture for Barnsley, given that they're coming up against Stockport County, who are just against the relegation zone. To have 2nd and 3rd battling against each other, it could be favourable. I think a draw is obviously the most favourable result for Barnsley if they are able to get their victory. But that should be a cracker of a game as well. 2nd against 3rd at Norton. Division 1 Midlands then. Doncaster Rovers Bells against Stourbridge. Stourbridge, don't forget, top of Division 1 Midlands, which many people wouldn't have expected. But Stourbridge, a great start to the season. Doncaster Rovers Bells in 4th, so it's going to be a tough game, particularly with Doncaster Rovers Bells having a game in hand and they're only being 3 points back. But don't forget they lost in the Cup at the weekend, so they're coming off the back of a defeat. Leaford Athletic against Peterborough United, that's 3rd against 5th. Lincoln City against Solihull Moors is 9th against 2nd. Northampton Town take on Long Eaton United. Those, again, it's the bottom 2 coming up against each other. So Long Eaton United with a win could climb as high as 9th. Northampton Town could also get 9th with a victory. Northampton Town against Long Eaton United, I've just discussed that one, sorry. Sheffield against Sporting Cowser, that's a mid-table battle of 6th versus 7th. And Leek Town against Wem Town is 8th versus 10th, so kind of a bottom 3rd tie in that one. Let's go to Division 1 South East. There's a midweek game in this as well. On Sunday, AFC Wimbledon against Wymondham Town. Wimbledon in 4th. Wymondham Town yet to get off the mark. They're bottom of the table. Ashford Town against Actonians. That's 7th against 10th. Cambridge City take on #United. #United at the top with a goal difference of 20 from just 5 games. Cambridge City in 9th on 3 points. Cambridge United host Chesham United. That's 6th against 8th, 2 mid-table sides. London Seaward take on Queen's Park Rangers. London Seaward in 3rd, Queen's Park Rangers in 5th. And Norwich City take on Hounslow. That is 2nd against 11th. Hounslow, of course, yet to play a game this season. They were playing Wymondham Town last weekend and then it got abandoned with only a few minutes to go. So they're still not having completed a game yet this season. They've got to go to 2nd in the table Norwich City. So be hard to see them getting off the mark this weekend, but we will see. And then in the midweek on Wednesday, Hounslow host Chesham United as they try to catch up with their games played. Chesham United in 8th at the moment, but if results go their way, they could be as high as 5th come the end of Sunday. Division 1 South West then, and we have a game tonight between Cardiff City and Keynsham Town. That's 3rd against 9th at the moment. Cardiff City, of course, one of only 2 teams to have a 100% record at the moment, Chelsea being the other one in 4th. So Cardiff City, they have 2 games in hand over Bournemouth and Exeter already. One of those is tonight, of course. So Cardiff could find themselves top of the table by the time we get to Sunday. So take the rest of these placings with a bit of a pinch of salt. AFC Austell against Keynsham Town at the moment, that is 12th against 9th. In fact, to be honest, if Keynsham Town do get the victory over Cardiff tonight, it would have to be a big victory for them to climb up because they're 3 points behind Portishead, who are in 8th, but they have a goal difference that is 9 worse. They're on -15, so they'd have to knock 10 past Cardiff to climb any places. So AFC St Austell in 12th, Keynsham in 9th. Cardiff City then against Maidenhead. Maidenhead currently down in 10th. Exeter City against Bournemouth is the current top 2, so that's going to be a huge game at the top of Division 1 South West. Larkhall Athletic against Chelsea. Larkhall Athletic are down in 11th, Chelsea in 4th. Moneyfields against Swindon Town is 5th against 7th. Moneyfields really doing well at the start of this season as well. Portishead against Southampton Women. That's 8th against 6th. One of 3 teams on 6 points there, but Portishead have played 2 more than Southampton Women. Then on Tuesday night, Maidenhead United against Swindon Town. At the moment, that's 10th versus 7th, but of course it could all change. Then on Wednesday night, Chelsea against Southampton Women, which at the moment is 4th against 6th. But Chelsea or Cardiff, or neither of them, could be at the top of the table by the time we get to those games, because Cardiff are playing one of their games in hand tonight. Chelsea playing one of their games in hand next week, so they could be at the top of the table by the time we get to next Wednesday. But those are all the fixtures coming up in the next week. As I said, next week we'll have a look at the preliminary round of the Cup as we get from 36 or 35 in the Plates case down to just 32. But for now, thank you very much for watching or listening if you've been doing this on the audio streaming. This week's Women's Football Chat. As always, keep supporting your local women's football team. If you'd like to get involved with the show, then either leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube, or get in touch with me on Twitter. It's at Chris_Gadsby. Like I said, thank you very much for watching and or listening, and goodbye.